So I was in a conversation last week about data, and someone said something that really stuck with me, which is that most people are obsessed with the data they do have rather than the data they don't have. So that's a really interesting point, which is that people go, oh, we need to be data driven. And if you want to win an argument, being data driven is great because you say we got all this data, the data told us to do this, and so that's what we're doing. And even if what you do as a consequence of the data is a total failure, you don't get blamed for it because you are data driven. But there are two problems here. So first is that all this big data comes from the same place, which is the past. And that's one problem. And the second thing is all data in the human context. So the context of human behavior, so I'm not talking about logistics or aviation or, aeronautical engineering or anything like that. But in a human context, the so-called data you have, if we're going to be totally honest, is woefully underrepresentative, incomplete, and almost certainly kind of biased because the really important things you can't quantify. And the example I always give for that is what you should do is not say, what data do we have? You should really start by saying, what might be helpful to know that we don't? And is there a way of finding it? So that's fundamentally different. That's a reverse process. That is reasoning backwards. So it's like instead of asking people what price they paid for something, rather than what price would have made them walk away. Or it's like only listening to customer feedback forms, forgetting that most people never bother to fill them out, especially the happy ones, because they have nothing negative to say. So that's a fundamentally different process.